Now your acquisition method is ready. Let's define your sample list. Click on Sample List and then on Sample List Setup and Configuration. This is the sample list and the columns which will be displayed when you start an analysis. You can predefine certain values here, for example the runtime or the injection volume. With a right mouse click, you can add or remove columns, for example the cone voltage. If you're doing method development, additional columns might be necessary because you can then select a specified value injection-wise. If no entry is made here or the column is deselected, the general value set in the method details will be used. Now let's have a look on the processing parameters. Click on Processing. In this video, the recommended settings for the forensic toxicology screening workflow are described. The details of these parameters and how they affect your analysis are described in another learning video. All parameters set here can be found in your Forensic Toxicology Familiarization Guide document. To start, select first Find 3D Peaks. Make sure you've applied the lock mask correction. Set the intensity threshold for the high energy trace to 5 and for the low energy trace to 250. Set your background filter to medium and the maximum number of peaks to keep per channel to 100,000. Now go back by using the arrow. Select the 3D isotope clustering. Select as fraction for the chromatographic peak for the low and the high energy trace to 0.5. Use an intensity threshold of 50. As we are dealing with small molecules, we do not expect more than 2 charges, so select a charge state for your cluster of a maximum of 2. Include 2 isotopes for your screening purpose. And allow a minimum isotopic intensity ratio of 0.7. Make sure you allow by the chromatographic tolerance for saturated data by ticking the box. Now go back and open the Target by Retention Time tab. If you like to use retention time for identification, select a tolerance of 0.35 minutes and use the best in retention time from the drop-down menu. If you're using a library which comes without retention time information, you can deselect retention time screening here. Now go back and open the Target by Mask tab. Select as your target identification value a tolerance of 20 ppm. Tick the Generate Predicted Fragments from Structure and set a tolerance of 2 millidalton. Allow scores below 5. Keep 5 diagnostic fragments. If you'd like to see more, you can increase the number here. Use an ion ratio tolerance between 10 and 30%. Although it increases processing time, we recommend to extract mass chromatograms. They will help you to visualize and review your results. Tick the box and use an automatic tolerance. If you'd like to use a manual value, we recommend 10 millidalton. Tick both the extract mass chromatograms for identified expected fragment ions and a mass chromatogram containing all identified ions. If you are interested in investigating ion traces for unidentified targets in your purpose list, use this option, otherwise exclude them to save processing time. If alternative assignments for a compound are possible, you can decide whether you want the best hits to be displayed or if all possible results are displayed. We recommend using the first option. Select to keep 5 targets with same M over Z with an intensity threshold of 0.01%. Use 50,000 candidates for screening and discovery and 10,000 candidates to keep after screening. This means that 50,000 of the most abundant peaks resulting from the initial peak picking process will be compared to your purpose list and assigned and named if appropriate. After this step, 10,000 unassigned masses will be stored for you as so-called candidate masses for further investigation and elucidation.